What is up, guys? My name is Harris. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a brand new video, and today, we're doing a little bit of a movie recap, if you will, a little bit of a monthly recap. For those who are looking at the title thinking, Harry, what do you mean 365 days in 365 movies? Well, on my birthday, my 22nd birthday, I proposed a challenge to myself. It was July 8th, by the way. I just let you know that. On July 8th, I proposed a challenge to myself, and I thought of this a couple days before, but I said, Harry, you know what'd be really fun? Yeah, if you force yourself to watch one movie a day for a year. And I told myself, yeah, that sounds good to me. And so I did it. But no, there's no deeper meaning, oh well, if I only had a year, this is what I want to do. No, it's literally just I want to watch more movies, particularly movies that I haven't seen. Obviously, I'm not just going to be rewatching my 5 favorite films for an entire year. Obviously, I want to watch more movies. I want to be able to be more versed in movies and be able to, when people conversate, recommend them really good independent movies, or be able to talk about movies like Star Wars and Jurassic Park and whatnot, and Jaws, stuff like that. I want to be able to talk about that. I didn't see any of those this month, by the way. But Star Wars will be soon for sure, because me and my best friend do have plans to watch that in the next couple months. Jurassic Jaws, I definitely want to watch. Jurassic Park, I'm so on, by the way. But yeah, so we're almost 2 minutes into filming, and I've already rambled on, I think, long enough. But today, we're doing the first month recap, which is July. Now, I will let you guys know, I did watch a couple movies before July 8th, but I didn't track them because I started this on my birthday. So I'm going from July 8th, 2024, I almost said 22, to July 8th, 2025. I'll be doing these once a month. Would it maybe have been better if I held off and did this on maybe August 9th, recapping the 8th to the 8th? Maybe, but I want to do this by the month. And yes, I know it's going to be awkward that that next July is going to have 8 movies, 7 movies maybe. So yeah. By the way, I'm not going to be giving full on analysis of these films. I'm really just going to be, here's what I watched, give a little plot synopsis, what I thought of it very briefly. So yeah, some of these I do plan on doing a little further in depth videos on, and 5 of these movies I already did, which you can find on the Movie Talk playlist, which I'm going to be hopefully remembering to make right after I film this video before it goes up. So yeah, I will be doing that. And also, as you can tell, I got movies. I've got some movies. Surprisingly, only about half are actually in my collection. So just to lift them up, you guys can see here, there's a couple movies that I do own. Half of them I don't. And we're actually starting out with a movie that I don't own. I would tell you guys the day I watch these movies. And I will give a slight spoiler alert here. I'm above movie per day at this point. I think I can take a week off, not watch movies, and I'm technically good to be movie per day, but I'm not going to do that. I am, again, going to try and watch a movie every day. So July 8th, on my actual birthday, my best friend does this every year. I let her pick a movie we can watch on her birthday. She lets me pick a movie I can watch on my birthday. We each go back and forth usually, but on her birthday, it's very specifically, hey, your birthday, you choose. My birthday, I choose. And I chose to watch a zombie comedy. Why? Because I've been meaning to watch it for a couple of years now. Actually, probably a decade. Ever since I first saw James Rolfe's review of it, I figured, hey, I want to watch this, and I figured, why not? It's my birthday. I'm in the mood for it. Let's watch it. We finally watched Return of the Living Dead from 1985. I hate that I don't own this movie yet because it's really, really fun. Yeah, basically, this is a 1985 zombie horror comedy. I'd argue, much more of a comedy horror than it is a horror comedy. It's a very loving tribute to Night of the Living Dead. A very basic plot. Night of the Living Dead was real in this universe. Night of the Living Dead was real, but it was covered up by the government, and the movie was merely a small recreation of what actually happened. And these canisters that have the stuff that made the zombies real get sent to the wrong place. They get sent to this random, like, taxidermy. I don't know. I don't think he's a taxidermist, but he has fucking the cut dogs and whatever, and he's got like bodies, and they have these canisters of, it's like gas or whatever, and he's got this new kid. He tells him the story, and it's a really, really good opening sequence. Um, but they end up going down. They find the canisters, and they accidentally end up opening them and causing a little zombie apocalypse in their town or whatever. It's a very, very fun movie. There's also these guys that are waiting to pick up the new guy from his job, and they're in the graveyard when the zombie apocalypse hits. It's a very, very funny movie. It's really, really entertaining. I think the way they go about the film, there's some of the kills are really brutal, and I really like them. I also really like that the zombies in this movie aren't the typical shoot him in the head, or destroy the brain or shoot him in the head, or whatever. That's not how you kill them. You cannot kill these zombies, and that's, I guess, a small spoiler alert. Burning them only makes things worse. Like if you kill them, burning them, it only makes them worse. They try to chop up the bodies. It's a really, really solid horror comedy horror, I should say. Return of the Living Dead was the first movie we watched, and I do not regret it at all. Alright, next movie. On July 9th, we watched The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. We watched this movie, and I'll hold it up because technically it is the movie we watched. It's not the exact version we watched. I think it's... I'll talk about it in a second. It's Donnie Darko from 2009. We watched this on the 9th of July. We watched the theatrical cut, and I know that there's a theatrical cut, and then there's I forget if it's a director's cut or whatever it is, which like completely changes the film. It completely changes what the film is essentially. But the theatrical cut, it's pretty good. And we watched the Last Drive-In version, which means that we had Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl intro, outro, being a horror host. You know, they interject every once in a while. I love Last Drive-In, by the way. Absolutely love Last Drive-In. If somehow Joe Bob or Darcy doesn't want to do an interview, I'm 100% down. I'd love to interview them. I have no clue how to get a hold of them, so spread the word around. Harry Rice wants to interview Joe Bob and or Darcy. But yeah, Donnie Darko. We watched the theatrical cut, me and my best friend. I have no clue how to describe this movie. Honestly, it's a mix of like science fiction, drama, horror, suspense, thriller, sort of. It's a mix of a lot of genres. It's a very good film though. I really enjoyed it. It's basically about this kid, Donnie Darko, and he sees visions of this rabbit guy, and he's predicting the end of the world. And Donnie Darko, it's kind of a coming of age story, sort of. And yeah, I feel like that's probably the best way to describe the film, as loosely as I can without getting into like, oh, well, this happens, and this happens, and this. So yeah, basically Donnie Darko sees a bunny who's predicting the end of the world, and he's trying to stop it, I guess. And yeah, the theatrical cut, it's good. I do like some of the parodic nature of the film and how it's kind of criticizing suburban life in a way. It's solid. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is great in this. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Like I said, I'm trying to give spoilers for any of these films, and if I do, I'll let you guys know. But Donnie Darko, it's a good movie. Check it out if you haven't yet. I'm very happy I own this DVD because I believe the DVD is a little bit rare. So yeah, Donnie Darko, check it out. Let's put the DVDs on the floor for now, I guess. Then on the 10th, we watched a movie that is probably on the complete opposite scale of Donnie Darko. We went from Donnie Darko, serious, dark, little comedic, and now we're all the way into pure comedic, because on the 10th, I, for the first time, watched Dumb and Dumber. Well, I should say for the first time actually sitting down to watch it. I've seen clips of it. I see it on TV once in a while, but actually sitting down to watch the full movie, Dumb and Dumber. Very funny. Very funny movie. Jeff Daniels and some no-name guy star in this movie. Yeah, Jeff Daniels is fantastic in this. I love Jeff Daniels. There's I think 2 or 3 other films, I think it's 2, that have Jeff Daniels, and big fan of his. Jim Carrey's alright in this too. I think he overacts a lot, which not particularly that funny. But yeah, this movie, geniusly hilarious. you guys know, if you guys have seen Dumb and Dumber, you guys know it's hilarious all throughout. Cam Neely, of course, I'm a hockey channel, so I have to mention, of course, Cam Neely, Dead Man Salt Shaker, Dumb and Dumber, very funny movie. Very basic plot is Jim Carrey plays a guy named Lloyd, who and his best friend's Harry, played by Jeff Daniels. But Jim Carrey discovers a briefcase that was quote unquote accidentally left behind by a woman that he's in love with, and he wants to return the briefcase to her. It's a very basic plot, very funny. Yeah, it's a film that it's so stupid that it almost borders on being genius. You know, you could argue it is genius because of how dumb it is and how much you laugh at the movie. But yeah, go check out some other reviews if you guys want deep analysis. Cinemassacre did a very, very good review of Dumb and Dumber a couple of years back, and yeah, Dumb and Dumber. It's just a fun, stupid comedy, but it's kind of genius. All right, then on the 11th, and I'll let you guys know when I double featured movies on when I did 2 or more movies in a single day. I'll let you guys know that. But on the 11th, we watched Galaxy Quest. Now, I was admittedly disappointed by this movie. I'll start off by saying this movie stars Tim Allen, Alan Rickman, and Sigourney Weaver. Justin Long's also in this, and Seth Rogen's in the other movie that we watched. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's basically about a group of TV actors who are on this show that's like Star Trek. It's basically Star Trek. And the show was canceled, and they have a beloved fan base. There's a con for them every year, and Tim Allen's very much the William Shatner, head is too big for himself, very arrogant, very much a dick. And, Sigourney Weaver's, the hot one who doesn't have much to do. Alan Rickman's the very serious actor who thinks he's above the show. And, it's admittedly, it's a funny premise, but they end up getting not taken hostage. They end up encountering these aliens who are trying to bring them onto their ship and help them fight a war against these other aliens because they think the show is real. And yeah, it's very much an homage to stuff like Star Trek and sci-fi stuff of the 70s and the 80s. And I didn't care for it that much, honestly. I get what it was going for with the comedic elements. It's a comedy film, of course. It's a comedy sci-fi film. It just didn't hit me that much, honestly. It's a movie that I think the concept was there. It's a really good concept, Actors from a TV show are held captive by thing that is related to show because they think the show is real. That's a really good concept, and I know it's been done before. Misery, to an extent, is sort of that. I mean, it's more so just Kathy Bates is obsessed with characters from a book, which I haven't seen Misery. I know the basic plot of it. I just got Misery on DVD. You guys can see it right there. Misery. There you go. But yeah, it's very much sort of something that's been done, but I don't think something like Galaxy Quest, and I think it kind of failed. Honestly, was not a huge fan of Galaxy Quest. I thought there were a couple jokes that were funny. Alan Rickman was great, but Alan Rickman's great in anything he's in. Sigourney Weaver was hot because it's Sigourney Weaver. But yeah, overall, didn't really enjoy it that much. I'll be honest. I felt it kind of dragged. And now I will acknowledge, of course, I might not have liked this movie because I haven't watched Star Trek or anything like that. We watched it. This is one of the movies that my best friend wanted to watch, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Maybe I'll like it. I like Tim Allen and Alan Rickman and Sigourney Weaver and Justin Long, who I didn't even know was in the movie until I started it. It's okay. I honestly think if I were to watch Star Trek, all that stuff, whatever, then come back to this, I might like it more. But right now, as it stands, not a huge Galaxy Quest person. Then on the 12th, we decided to watch a movie that I wanted to watch, and I figured, hey, we watched a movie that's kind of a tribute to Star Trek. Why not do a movie that's a tribute to Star Wars? 2 franchises that I've never watched, and let's watch Fanboys from 2009, technically 2008. There's a whole thing there. But yeah, we watched Fanboys on the 12th of July. I actually like this movie a decent bit, and I say that despite knowing that I would hate Star Wars and actually prefer Star Trek because it's actually intelligent. I say that despite the fact I'm pointing at the movies, which are anything but. But Fanboys is a movie that firstly stars Jay Baruchel. Fucking love Jay Baruchel. and the fat dude from Sex Drive. I wish I remembered his name because he's actually pretty good in this. Seth Rogen has an appearance in this, and I think he's actually pretty funny. This movie is filled with a lot of cameos, and it's kind of apparent when you know the backstory of the film. I'll explain it in a second. Or the backstory of how the film ended up getting made, I should say. But basically, what happens in this movie is it's four guys who all love Star Wars. You know, even if they've sort of gone their separate ways, or at least one of them has. He's en route to being the owner of like a car company that his dad, who's played by Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald, is his dad, and he's pretty funny in the two scenes he's in. But one of them's kind of drifted off, but all four of them come back together because one of them ends up having cancer, and it's 6 months, I think, before Star Wars Episode 1 is supposed to come out, and they end up wanting to break into I think it's Skywalker Ranch, I think is what it's called, the ranch where Star Wars George Lucas is or whatever, and they want to break in to get a copy of the film and watch it before their friend dies. And along the way, they end up bringing Kristen Bell at some point because, come on, who wouldn't? This is just gonna be me thirsting over over females for like an hour, however long we go. But yeah, I think it's actually very funny. This is for a plot like that. Like, oh yeah, we're going to steal a movie for our friend who has fucking cancer. No, but it's a funny movie. They don't dwell on the cancer too much. It's mentioned, and that's very much what brings them to the plot of, yeah, we're gonna do this. Let's do it, and that's their motivation. It's a very funny film, and I say that knowing that it could have been better because of the studio interference. I think the Weinsteins were involved. I forget if this was distributed by, not the Weinstein Company. I think it was 20th Century Fox, or I think it was Fox that ended up releasing it on DVD. I forget. I might be saying that because Fox is what owns Star Wars, but yeah, whatever. There was a lot of studio interference. They wanted to make the film a lot more raunchy, which they ended up sort of compromising. There's a couple raunchy jokes. There's not a lot of them, which that's one genre of comedy that I cannot stand from the last 20 years is the purely raunchy sex comedy, which is funny I say that, despite the fact that I actually enjoy stuff like 40-Year-Old Virgin and the first two American Pies. But it's because they're not exactly explicitly just that. But I can talk about that more whenever I watch 40-Year-Old Virgin and American Pie at some point. Because I'll try and watch them over the next year. I think I've got the time. But, yeah, they wanted to make it more raunchy. They wanted to completely remove the cancer subplot, actually. And they wanted to make it just basically, they're four drunk dudes who on a whim just decide to go to Skywalker Ranch and steal the movie without having that emotional motivation. To that motivational, if you will, to get there, and then part of what they wanted was all the celebrity cameos, to have Seth Rogen, to have what's his face from Eastbound and Down, Danny McBride, to have someone that I'm not gonna name because once you see the movie and you see them, it's really hilarious that they're there. But the big cameo of what it is, the person who has the information that they need to get to Skywalker Ranch. The reveal of who it is actually pretty funny. And Jay Baruchel also is trying to, along the way, they end up stopping at some place to let Jay Baruchel meet a girl that he's talking with on the internet. Keep in mind, this is 1999 internet as well, so yeah, there's someone he's talking with on AOL, and the payoff for that is actually really, really funny. Aside from the fact that Harry Knowles is there. Harry Knowles is not who he's been talking to, but he's in the scene. Daily reminder, fuck Harry Knowles. But yeah, you're talking about two people named Harry. I just realized in nearly sequential movies. It's if only Galaxy Quest was in the middle. But yeah, Fanboys, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I think it could have been even better. Yeah, some of the characters, surprisingly for a film that I wasn't sure if I would like, none of the characters were annoying, really. All the characters had their moments. I love Jay Baruchel, so I already loved him in the movie without even seeing what type of character he'd be playing. Big Jay Baruchel fan, but then again, that might just be because he's a Habs fan. Shout out, let's go Jay Baruchel. If he ever sees this somehow, I'd be down for an interview. I'd love to interview you on the podcast. Episode 2 will be coming hopefully in the next week, by the way, boyos. So yeah, Fanboys. I'm gonna move on because I've been talking about it for a couple minutes. Fanboys, Good film, could have been better, but I think it's still quite solid as it is right here. And then July 13th, we had our first double feature. I watched this movie at about 1 in the morning, so an hour into the day, actually. And I went into this following movie expecting to absolutely hate it. I watched it thinking, oh, this is going to be hilarious. It's going to be the easy target. I can talk about it. I can piss off all the fans of the movie. And then I watched it, and yeah, I was right. Next up is Terrifier, and it was dog water. Terrifier was not good. Funny enough, I actually remember a lot more of the second than the first, and I'm trying to remember what the plot of the first one is. But okay, no, I remember. Yeah, this is the really low budget one, or the low budget one. The second one actually had a higher, an okay budget. But this movie stars a clown named Art, who originated from a film called All Hallows Eve, which is actual dog water. It was incredibly boring. I wouldn't seek it out. It's just not good. But yeah, Terrifier. Art the clown ends up killing people. That's really the general plot. There is no plot. There's two girls that end up getting stuck in some type of apartment complex because it's like 1 in the morning. One of them has to pee, and they end up getting locked in with Art the clown. That's literally the basic plot of it. The kills for a movie that everybody's saying, oh my god, it's so unique. You're gonna love if you're a fan of horror films, you're gonna love the gore. Wasn't really that good. I mean, the split down the middle kill that everybody talks about. I mean, it was okay. I've if you've seen Doctor Strange 2, you've basically seen that done when Wanda kills the fucking dude. I've seen it done in other films. I forget which movie it is, but it's cut down the middle, and one half like walks or whatever. It looks really fucking wonky. Or like when they like split down the middle. There's a couple movies I've seen with the split down the middle. Not like this, obviously. But it wasn't really that good. I mean, I thought the final act was okay, and I think the I was gonna say twist, no, but the cliffhanger, I think that ends up being alright. Terrifier 1 wasn't good. I don't know how this ended up getting 2 sequels. But quick spoiler, we'll talk about Terrifier 2 in a minute. I will get to it. But Terrifier 1 really kind of sucked, honestly. And then the next movie, we're actually on to 2 movies that I've owned on DVD. But the next movie that we saw, or the next movie that I saw, no, we saw actually. I watched Terrifier by myself. That was the first one I watched alone. There were a couple of these actually. I usually like to watch movies with my best friend, but sometimes I will watch movies by myself. This one, Terrifier, I watched by myself, and so did I watch the sequel. But this movie we watched together, and I thought it was actually really good, and it was a really good rebound from a movie like Terrifier, and that is The Squid and the Whale. This is a very, very solid movie. It stars Jeff Daniels. Oh my god, I didn't notice this. Wow, I didn't even notice this when I opened the DVD to watch it. It's got 2 reviews. That's actually really cool. You know what? That's actually pretty cool. They come with 2 reviews for the movie packed in already. But yeah, Squid and the Whale. This is a Noah Baumbach film, which if anybody's seen a movie of his, it's probably Marriage Story. But this is a movie, Jeff Daniels, Laura Linney, Jesse Eisenberg in this movie. All 3 great roles. Even the Owen Klein, who plays the little brother, he's pretty solid in this. But the movie is basically about this family who falls apart because Laura Linney and Jeff Daniels end up getting a divorce. And Jeff Daniels gets his own place, and that's basically the plot. It's just focusing on how they live life as a result of the divorce. It's a very good drama film. There's a bit of comedic elements to this as well, especially Jesse Eisenberg when he starts going out with who ends up being his girlfriend. Anna Paquin's also in this. She ends up living with Jeff Daniels and Jesse Eisenberg in the house because I forget if she gets kicked out of her current place. I'm trying to hold the DVD up to the camera. I should probably try and keep note of where it is. But yeah, Anna Paquin's in this. She's good in this. I don't want to reveal too much, even though it's not like a super complicated film plot-wise. I still want people to watch the movie. It's very, very solid. Jeff Daniels is incredible in this. Wish he'd get cast in more stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty solid film. Little brother's kind of a fucking pervert too, which is a little funny. Jeff Daniels is great in this movie. A little bit of a weird subplot involving him and Jesse Eisenberg towards the end, but if you've seen the movie, you'll know. And if you haven't yet, check it out. It's a little bit hard to find on DVD, but it's on Netflix actually. At least in Canada, it's on Netflix. So check it out. Okay, actually, that's why I didn't open the DVD to watch this, because I watched it on Netflix. I'm remembering now. Yeah, that's why. I didn't even open this then to look at the disc when I bought this. That's actually very dangerous that I didn't look to make sure that the disc was actually in good condition. But Squid and the Whale, good movie. Check it out. Yeah, go for that. Then on the 14th, we ended up watching another movie with Jeff Daniels. We went on a little bit of a Jeff Daniels craze apparently. Freaking 3 films of his in 5 days. But this movie is an action film, and I'm sure as soon as I say action movie with Jeff Daniels, those who know it realize, oh yeah, you were in for a good time. And yeah, we were, because we watched Speed. This is a really, really funny movie. This is an action film with a lot of accidentally funny bits. It's an action film starring Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, and Jeff Daniels, basically. And he plays another character named Harry. That is 3 movies with Harrys that I've watched this month. That's really funny, actually. But yeah, Keanu Reeves is this guy. Dennis Hopper as well. Dennis over the top fucking Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper is a guy. He's kind of this terrorist who ends up nearly blowing up a mall, but Keanu Reeves ends up saving everybody in time. And in revenge, he hijacks a bus and sets it to where if it goes below, I believe, 55 miles per hour, it's supposed to blow up. And Keanu Reeves is the cop that is supposed to try and save the day. Sandra Bullock's in it. Jeff Daniels plays his partner in crime. Dennis Hopper's the main villain. You've got a recipe for hilarity right there. And yeah, it was exactly that. Jean de Bont, the director, he knew what to do with the material, and I'm glad that he went the way he did. Keanu Reeves does not care at all in this film, and I think that makes it even funnier. Speed, I highly recommend if you're trying to watch an action film that you get a lot of action. You get that. If you're trying to watch an action film to make fun of it, you can do that too. It's you could argue it's the perfect action film in terms of satisfying the most amount of people with what you could do with an action film. And yeah, I will say shout out to the 2-disc edition here, because packed with special features. These 5-star collections from Fox. I also have the first three Die Hard films, and I feel like I have one other. I just forget which one, but I have the first 3 Die Hards in this. Very good collections. I'm sure the features are on Blu-rays in the future, but yeah, very good DVD set. All right, and now July 15th. I'm not gonna hide it. Terrifier 2. Yeah, we watched this movie, or I watched this movie, I should say. My best friend didn't want to. She's not interested in the Terrifier films, despite the fact that we watched like 18 horror films this month. Spoiler for the future, but Terrifier 2, and you know what? I liked it. That is right, and I know it sounds incredibly weird from somebody who just not even 10 minutes ago was bashing the first Terrifier because it wasn't a good movie. I liked the second Terrifier. I thought the gore was much better in this film. There was an actual plot, which I liked. Not much, but basically, there's this girl, and her father killed himself a year earlier, and he left, I'm trying to remember as I'm talking about it, he left behind this, like, notebook that, like, is propheting that Art the Clown is gonna rise or whatever. And yeah, Art the Clown's basically trying to come to town and kill this bitch, you know, and she's having dreams of Art the Clown as well. It's very much a typical horror film plot of the main villains trying to get someone, and they're trying not to have it happen, and they gotta rise up in the third act. The scene where it's in the main character's dream, and it's that Sesame Street kind of thing where everybody's singing that song or whatever. It's all like a commercial or whatever. That scene I thought was really, really cool, actually. The third act I thought was pretty interesting. It kind of went into the fantasy realm a little bit, more so than horror. And I don't mean like porn fantasy, but like the fantasy film genre. Like her costume, because it's near Halloween, actually. It's near Halloween. And, and she has a little brother who ends up running away, and they have to try and go and find him at an amusement park. And that whole third act in the amusement park is actually really, really fun. Really, really entertaining. And see, I think that's something that makes the second film better than the first, is that the first film took itself way too seriously. The first film was like, yeah, Art the Clown, he's badass, isn't he? And the second film with this one, it was much more like, let's just fuck around for an hour and a half. You want some gore? Yeah, here's some gore. You want some comedy? Here's a little bit of comedy. You want some plot? Yeah, here's a little bit of plot. We'll bring it to the third act. You know what's gonna happen. Fuck it, who cares? It's fun. It's a horror film. And yeah, it very much was that. You know, the second film, I think, got what needs to be done right. And I genuinely, if you told me 6 months ago that I'd be sitting here saying what I'm about to say, I would have slapped you in the face and said, suck my balls. I'm excited for Terrifier 3. I find that so goddamn weird to be saying. I'm excited for Terrifier 3. I actually can't wait to see what they do with the Christmas gimmick. Admittedly, a bit worried if the first 5 minutes are apparently enough to warrant the film being unrated. Or having gotten an X, which means it's not going to be rated. This film, I think, was rated. The first film was unrated. This one was rated. Despite the fact that I think this one was actually gorier than the first film, I'd argue. And then the third one's back to being unrated, which, if we're going off that pattern, means the fourth film also won't be rated for some reason. But no. Yeah, so Terrifier 2, I enjoyed it. I was a fan, actually. You know what? Props to Damien Leone. I hated his last two films that I've seen, All Hallows Eve and Terrifier. Terrifier 2, he showed he has potential. Good on him. Alright. And then the next film we watched, me and my best friend watched, was on the 16th. That film, I gotta speed this up a little bit. The first film was the Poughkeepsie Tapes, another horror film. This is a horror documentary, actually. Not a real horror film, it's a horror documentary about this guy who's killing people in Poughkeepsie, Jersey. I forget where it is. But he's in a town called Poughkeepsie. And he has, I think they said, tens of thousands of hours on these VHS tapes. You can kind of see it here on the upstate New York. Yeah, so Poughkeepsie, New York. There you go. I thought it was Jersey, but it's technically Jersey's in New York. Fuck it. You guys know what I mean. But, yeah, he leaves all these tapes. And he specifically fixates on one girl. He tortures her, torments her. And he hadn't been caught up to the point in the when the film was made. Very, very good documentary. Okay, I should clarify this because some people are going to think I'm actually fucking stupid. No, it's a horror film that's made to look like a documentary. I was gonna make it seem like, oh yeah, guys, go check this out. It's a good documentary, but I know there would be some people that watch it like, Harry, you believe this is real? No, it's a horror film made to look like a documentary. If you watch it thinking it's real, it's very, very good. I watched it knowing it was fake, but with the, in my mind that this is real. This is going to be real. This is a real documentary. Thinking to myself that it's real, and it is very, very solid. Very disturbing. Very messed up. A couple of the characters that they have and the places they put them to do their interviews is kind of funny. There's one dude, they just interview him at a fucking barbecue. So there's little things like that kind of tip you off that it's fake, but very, very good. It's a lot less about the gore and a lot more about the tension of you seeing these tapes and what the killer's gonna do. It's a very, very solid, very, very solid. I just realized I flipped two movies when I shouldn't have. But it's a very, very solid mockumentary, I guess you could say. It's a very solid mockumentary. Highly recommend the Poughkeepsie Tapes. It sucks that the delay was so messed up that I believe it was completed in 2007, put out in theaters in 2009, theatrically briefly, quickly put on a video on demand service in 2013, and then I think the DVD came out in like 2017, something like that, or the DVD was in 2009, but it got pulled or something. It has a fucked up release schedule, something like that. But yeah, the Poughkeepsie Tapes, solid documentary, recommend it for sure, no doubt. And for the next film, I'm gonna again try and hurry it up just a little bit. The next film we watched was more of a comedy drama, a cromedy, or a dramedy, if you will, if you're in the know. And that movie is Little Miss Sunshine. This one, very, very solid film. Abigail Breslin stars in this one with Joel Keener, Steve Carell, Toni Collette, Paul Dano, and Alan Arkin. If you like that cast, check it out right there. Basic plot is Abigail Breslin's character ends up getting a spot in this beauty pageant called Little Miss Sunshine, and it's about her and her family driving to get there on time. It's kind of a last second thing, like, hey, we need you here by Monday, and it's Friday type of deal. And yeah, they're basically trying to get her there. Paul Dano plays the brother who has taken a vow to not say another word, to say a word until he's able to fly in the military or whatever, or he's eligible to. And that gets resolved. Toni Collette and Joel Keener are the mother and father, or the parents of Abigail Breslin. Steve Carell plays Toni Collette's brother, who had just recently attempted to kill himself, and he's taken on the road trip. And yeah, it might not sound like it's a funny movie, but it's actually very heartwarming. It's very fun. The ending, which I am not going to dare spoil, I fucking love the ending of this movie. It's a very big fuck you, and I'm not gonna spoil it, like I said, but very satisfying ending. Check it out. Highly recommend it. Little Miss Sunshine exceeded my expectations. Thought it was just gonna be kind of a whatever comedy, quirky comedy. Ended up being more than that. Very solid. Little Miss Sunshine. Definitely recommend that. All right, and then me and my best friend next watched on the 18th. We watched this movie. I thought this was a day we double featured, but no, technically it was actually, but it was the early morning when we watched the next movie. But this movie, and it sucks that I don't have each of them individually. I actually technically have one of them individually, so I can pull that out really quickly. But what we did for this movie, we watched it on, I forget if it was Netflix or what we watched it, but we watched Friday the 13th Part 2, and yes, I have the Blu-ray collection. I don't have them individually, unfortunately. Friday the 13th Part 2. Now you guys might be wondering, Harry, why didn't you watch Part 1? We already did, so yeah. This is the start of the Friday the 13th section, basically. We're going to be having a couple movies intermittently, but Friday the 13th Part 2, again, we watched the first one about a year and a half ago, and we remembered it, so we said, yeah, no, we don't need to watch the first one. Plus, Part 2 gave us a recap at the start, so we really didn't need to watch it. By the way, this Blu-ray set, very solid. I think it was like $20 when my parents got it for me. Yeah, the only thing is it just comes with the movies. I don't think it comes with any special features. I'm trying to see if it does, but I don't think it does. It says Part 3 3D, and this one's unopened, so I don't know if it's actually 3D or what, but Part 2. Yeah. Jason goes to Camp Crystal Lake and murders a bunch of kids. I just told you the plots of Part 2 through 7. Yeah, basically. Part 2, I'm trying to remember it, and I really don't. Oh, that's the one with Jason, he's a sack boy. Okay, yeah. Part 2 is okay. They can't really give you much more than that. Part 2 is okay. They're kind of forgettable films. We watched them just to be able to watch Freddy vs. Jason after we watch the Nightmare films, which are going to be in the August recap when I do that next month. Next up, July 19th. Technically, we watched both these films, but it was like 2 in the morning when we started. I forgot to did not mean to do that. When we started Bridesmaids. Yeah. I had to watch this for the podcast, the Movie Talk Pod, so if you guys want to hear my thoughts on the movies that I did watch, which I'll tell you them very briefly. Okay, no, I was about to say, did I not watch the other two or mark them? But no, I did. They're a little bit later. But yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on Bridesmaids, in depth, sort of, check out the last Movie Talk podcast that I did with Rick and Matt of Talkin' Habs. Check that out. Genuinely, and I don't say this just because it's on my channel, I really love doing those videos. I think they're really fun to do. And we have another one coming, I believe, next Sunday that we're filming, and I believe it's going to be, or this Sunday, technically. Yeah, I enjoy it. So, please check it out. Hit the like and subscribe if you want more movie content in general, by the way. But Bridesmaids, long story short, I didn't like it. It's a Paul Feig movie. I should have known from the start. I kind of did. Didn't go in expecting to like it. It gave me 0 laughs. I like some of the dramatic aspects. If you want more thoughts and the general plot and all that, check out the movie pod, like I said. Very decent film, though. Yeah. Alright, next up, we watched Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. Yeah, it's not a good movie. Part 3 in 3D. Of course, heavily relies on the 3D. There's the dude with the fucking ping pong pad with a fucking ping pong thing, and it's the paddle ball, and it's popping out to the screen. You got the arrow through the eye, which is kind of cool. That's the only 3D thing that I think is actually pretty all right. Yeah, Part 3. Part 3 wasn't that good. I don't remember it all that much. I feel like there was 1 or 2 characters that I liked, but yeah, Part 3 just not. If that's the one, no, I think that might even be part two. Actually, I'm thinking of, but yeah, part three. All the Friday films kind of blend together. Might be because I actually watched them all in fairly decent succession, but yeah. Uh, so yeah. Oh yeah. But by the way, we watched Bridesmaids and Friday the 13th Part Three, along with Part Two, all in a 24-hour span, basically. So yeah. And then on the 20th, we double featured again. We double featured on the 19th Bridesmaids and Friday Part Three. On the 20th, we double featured two movies that actually have the same actor, Miles Teller, in them. Firstly, we watched Project X, which, um, you know what? I actually really liked it. I was actually going into it thinking, oh, this isn't gonna be that good, but we'll make fun of it, we'll whatever. But I actually really enjoyed it. It's another film that's almost made like a documentary, like it's real footage just stitched together to be a movie. Um, and yeah, basically this stars three kids, and I don't remember any of their names, and I apologize to them because they're actually pretty good in this. And they end up having a party for the main character who's like turning 17, I think. I don't think it's 18. I think he's turning 17. And basically, the one dude has a lot of contacts. He sends the invites out a lot, and he's trying to get people to show up. And a lot more people show up than expected. They end up having a DJ. They get security and all that. And yeah, it's a movie where everything goes out of control and everything ends up not going wrong, but it gets very crazy. It's Project X, a very, very fun movie. Miles Teller's in it for a bit. You got a grown man punching a 12-year-old in the face, which is fucking hilarious. Because child abuse is always funny, of course. No, but that actually is pretty funny. And another funny thing, it's actually based off of a real case where I want to say Australian, but I think it's a New Zealand teen ended up posting something for a party on his Facebook, and did not expect more than a couple people to show up, and there was like 400 or 500 people, something like that, who showed up. They ended up wrecking his parents' house, and he did one of the funniest interviews where he just didn't apologize for it. And honestly, fair enough. He didn't expect that many people to show up, and yeah. But that whole story, that's for another time. Very, very funny story that inspired Project X. Project X, very fun film. Recommend it, especially if you're hosting a party and you just need something to put on in the background. Put that on. That should bring the mood up a little bit. Hopefully not enough to burn your parents' house down, though. But hey, don't say I didn't tell you to do something. But yeah, next up on the 20th, our second film that we ended up watching, we watched Whiplash, another film for the pod. If you want to hear my full thoughts on this, check out the pod. I'll tell you this, fucking phenomenal film. Third time watching this movie for the pod. And I believe the first movie that I've already seen that I watched, first film that I'd already seen for the year of movies, as I'll call it. Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, fucking phenomenal. Miles Teller is a drummer. He ends up getting taken under J.K. Simmons' wing in this class that he has for musicians. Or he has a band or whatever, and he pushes them to the limit and beyond that. And yeah, again, if you want to hear more about the plot, you want to hear all of us talking about it, check out the movie talk, Whiplash. I'm going to say, fucking phenomenal film. Absolutely incredible movie. Couldn't recommend it more. Next up, then, we watched the most memorable Friday the 13th film, in my opinion. That is Part 4, the final chapter. Could have gotten each of the posters, but why not? I've got the DVD. I'm just going to hold it up. Yeah, Crispin Glover and Corey Feldman, the absolute lolcow that he is, both in this movie. Corey Feldman, fucking strange dude. He's Tommy Jarvis, and he's a little kid who makes these masks or whatever. Shout out Tom Savini, who actually designed the masks. Tommy Jarvis is this little kid. Jason's coming back to Crystal Lake, and he's trying to kill him. Kill a bunch of teens that are in the house actually opposite, right across the street from Tommy Jarvis's house. Crispin Glover's one of them. He dances to AC/DC's Back in Black at one point, but unfortunately they couldn't get the license, so they had to redub the song. But Friday the 13th Part 4, very enjoyable, very fun. Then on the 22nd, we watched, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. We got that one out of the way. I'll spoil it now. Part 5, it's not Jason. Yeah, it's the fat dude who always eats chocolate, who gets axed. It's his dad. So Friday the 13th Part 5 is not really a Jason movie. Which sucks, because the ending way they kill him is actually really funny. They push him off into a bunch of spikes, and Yeah, part 5 just wasn't that good. Unfortunately, I was let down by that one, admittedly, because I thought, oh, maybe they'll follow up on part 4 pretty well, and they just didn't. Next up, we watched a movie that was again for the pod, and this one was actually pretty disappointing. The Gift. We double featured part 5 and then watched The Gift, I think, that night. But yeah, The Gift, this one stars Joel Edgerton, Jason Bateman, and Rebecca Hall. It was also directed and written by Joel Edgerton, I should say. Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall are this couple who end up. I should say, I fucking pulled the DVD out and I didn't even show it off. Friday the 13th Part 5. Yeah, there you go. Fuck me. Why do I have that on DVD? But yeah, The Gift. Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall are this couple who move into this place near Jason Bateman's like hometown, and this guy played by Joel Edgerton, Gordo, ends up coming around. He gets a little too close with the family, and yeah, another movie I watched for the pod. If you want to find out my general thoughts on it, check it out. But admittedly, very disappointed by it the second time around. I thought it wasn't nearly as good as the first time, probably because I knew the twist going in. But yeah, The Gift, unfortunately, not that good of a film. Yeah. Next up, and we're going to be holding this up for a while, we've got Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, from the 23rd. Probably, maybe my favorite Jason film, honestly. Part 6 was really entertaining. Of course, it's got the opening where Tommy Jarvis digs up Jason's grave and stabs him, and the fucking lightning comes down, hits him, and you got the infamous turn from Jason that's used in every promotional thing with Jason now. And yeah, Part 6 I thought was pretty alright. I thought it was a good movie. It was a very fun film. It's got the girl who is the father of the sheriff or whatever, and Jarvis, of course, falls in love with her. There's a thing in the third act where he's like bugging her, and the cop comes over, he steals the keys, and that's really fun while he's in the cell. I think that's really fun. Part 6, they very much leaned into the comedic aspects of it, and yeah. By the way, I will give a special shout out. I know there's only going to be like 8 people watching this video, but if you guys want to watch more Friday the 13th recap, you want to find out more about the series, check out the retrospective done by 616 Entertainment. Fantastic creator. Love his videos. He, actually, funny enough, started doing it a couple months ago before we watched the Friday the 13th films. He recently just released his third part of it, which he covers part 7 and part 8. So I believe next time he's covering Goes to Hell, X, and maybe Freddy vs. Jason. I'm not 100% sure there. But, yeah. So check that out. I believe he's releasing that next month, I think. I think it's one a month, I believe is how he's released it so far. But yeah, part 6, my personal, probably my favorite, part 6, actually. At least off the top of my head. Then we watched part 7, The New Blood. We double featured this day. The New Blood wasn't good. The New Blood, I thought, was like, there were things that were okay about it, but it's extremely forgettable. I don't even remember a lot of the film, but I remembered that I didn't like it. And then, of course, we watched Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason takes fucking forever to get to Manhattan. Also known canonically as Jason Takes Vancouver. Or if you're boring, Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah, I feel like it's well known at this point. The director wanted to get Jason out of Camp Crystal Lake. He wanted to put him somewhere else. They decided that New York would be a great place to put Jason, and then they realized, oh shit, New York costs way too fucking much to film in. They filmed some of the stuff in Vancouver. They took like a week to film in New York, and the rest of it's on a goddamn boat. Yeah, very disappointing Friday the 13th film. I think there was potential there to have it on a boat. I think there was potential with the boat concept. They just shouldn't have put it in a movie where it's called Jason Takes fucking Manhattan. But, yeah, I honestly think Jason Takes New York even would have been a better title over Jason Takes Manhattan, but that's just me. But yeah, part 8 wasn't good. It's just boring. Like, that's the thing. It's really just boring because you're waiting for him to get to New York, and they're on the fucking boat forever, and they're on the fucking boat, and they're on the boat, and then they get to New York, and then it's Vancouver, and then he's in Times Square, and oh my god, that's awesome, and then he's a little fucking boy at the end, and what the fuck? Friday the 13th, just okay, we started off with Halloween ripoff, Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, okay, we're good for 3 films. And oh god, it just the bottom caved in. Yeah. And you know what? We kept up the Jason properties because we then watched Jason Goes to Hell the next day. They turned Jason into a goddamn worm. That's basically the what they do with Jason Goes to Hell, because Jason gets blown up 10 minutes in. Admittedly, fucking cool opening. That should have been the ending though. It's a fucking cool opening. They have this whole cabin set up. They have this girl in there, you know, and she's alone. She's like the final girl, you know, and Jason comes in after her, and it's a fucking setup from like the FBI or something, and they blow him to bits. That's a fucking cool potential concept for an ending. And the rest of the movie, Jason's a goddamn worm possessing other people, and he's Jason in spirit only, really. Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell was not good. I think it had potential, especially for the second fucking film that they named The Final, whatever. First one, part 4, of course, Final Chapter. This one, The Final Friday, which a lot of people seem to take out that subtitle when they talk about the film, which rightfully so, but they don't do that for Final Chapter, which is weird. But yeah, Jason Goes to Hell wasn't good. I didn't like it. I think there was a fun idea there again, but it didn't work. And then they bring it back with Jason X, aka Jason Goes to Space. This is a good one. You know what? I'll be honest. At this point, there's no goddamn dignity to the series at all. There's no we have this prestigious Jason Voorhees we have to uphold. No, it's bottom of the barrel slasher films. It's the bottom of the barrel of slasher films. We know the formula. Pump one of these out every year for 8 years, and then fuck it, take a break. What are we gonna do? Do the same thing. Yeah, Jason X kind of takes that, and they say, you know what? We're sending Jason to fucking space, and that's exactly what they do. They send him to space. Jason kills Kane Hodder, which is kind of fun. That's a fun cameo to have the Jason actor in. Shout out to Kane Hodder, by the way. In my opinion, my personal favorite Jason. Completely get why some people might not like that his Jason. I personally do. But yeah, Jason X, incredibly fun. This is much more where they lean into the horror and very much the comedic aspects of it, rather than just horror with a couple little jokes in there. No, they fully lean into it. The Mecha Jason they have is kind of badass. Of course, some of the best kills in the franchise are in this film. Of course, the fucking put her head in the liquid nitrogen and boom, smash it on the counters. That's badass. The double slumber bag kill. Come on, bring that back from, I think it's part 6, I think it was in, or part 7. You had to redo that one now that the MPAA is done fucking you in the ass on every Friday film. Jason X, extremely fun. I had a really good time with it. I thought it was fun, enjoyable. If you can turn your head off and you can turn your brain off and just sit and watch and think, you know what, this is going to be a good time, you'll have no problem with it. And then we actually ended up doing a double feature on the 26th because we ended up watching The Sisters Brothers, another movie for the pod. If you want to find out, again, check that out and you'll find out what I think of it. But it's good. It's a good film, really good Western, very good at subverting your expectations without being like, you thought it was going this way. If we're going this way. No, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's go here, because this makes sense for the plot, and let's go here. Oh, that's subverting Western expectations? Oh, shit, well, that's what we're doing. You know, it's very much a thing where, oh, that's the digital code. I was going to show that, and never mind, I can't. But yeah, Sister Brothers is very good. Again, if you want to find out what I think of the film, check out the pod, because it's one of the films that we looked at there, and it's quite good in my opinion. And then next up, on the 27th, we did another double feature. The first movie we watched was, of course, the Friday the 13th remake, which actually came out after Freddy vs. Jason, but we watched this one just to get it out of the way. It was okay, I guess. I mean, I'll be honest, I was not a big fan of this remake. I think there was potential there. I actually really liked seeing Jason in a modern environment because I think it could work, and he can be very terrifying. I just didn't like it. I'll be completely honest. I just I thought it was kind of boring. The characters, the only ones you really like are the Asian dude who's really fun, and not Danielle Panettiere. Who's the other one? There's one other that I liked. Oh, the black dude. The black dude was pretty funny in this. And you know what? Hey, they're one of the rare horror films where the black dude does not die first. So props to the Friday the 13th showing restraint. He dies third, I think. But saying a character in a Friday the 13th film dies is like saying, hey, it's gonna rain at least once this year. Oh, no fucking shit, really? Yeah. Unless you live in fucking Guatemala or something. I don't know. Where the fucking Africa. Where doesn't it rain? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Friday the 13th, 2009. Flint, Michigan. I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Friday the 13th, the remake. There were some things I liked. Again, the Asian guy, I thought he was pretty cool. The black dude has some funny lines. Jason's kills were fun. They did the slumber bag kill for the third time in the second straight movie. For a film that's really meant to be a recap of part 1 through 4, or just kind of summarize it, I actually think they did a very good job of it, because they took elements of it. They actually did have Jason as Sackboy for the first like 30 or so minutes. The way he finds the hockey mask is actually really, really cool. They don't just have some random kid prank him or prank one of the girls. He gets killed and Jason puts on the hockey mask. No, he's killing this random dude, and he just so happens to find it in the stuff that he has, because he's like a hoarder or whatever. He finds the mask and he's like, this works. Puts it on. He doesn't say that, but basically just, oh shit, this fits me. Wow, nice. But yeah. So Friday the 13th, the remake. I think it did a good job summarizing the first 4 films without straight up just rehashing them. Like, oh, here's the part 1, here's the part 2, here's the part 3, here's the part 4. They kind of put some stuff in different orders. They put Sackboy, they put Mrs. Voorhees right at the beginning with Sackboy, and then they kind of reorganized some stuff. Some of the kills are in a different order. That's one thing I noticed as well. So, yeah, the Friday the 13th remake, it's whatever. It's alright. Well, it's kind of boring, though, so it's one of those movies where you can kind of Netflix and chill for it. I don't know if people still Netflix and chill in 2024, but you can do that. And then the other film we watched was The Irishman, which is the last film I needed to watch for the most recent pod. And yeah, it's a Martin Scorsese film. It's fantastic. If you want to find out what I think of the film and the end and all that stuff, again, check out the pod. But very good film. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, which, strangely enough, the first time they've done a movie all together. Usually it's like Pacino with somebody else and then De Niro and Pesci. You would have thought for sure they'd done a movie by now, but I'm glad they got at least one done before the inevitable Pesci and De Niro pass. Oh, actually, I don't know. Yeah, they're all up there in age. So I guess they're all probably within 25 years of passing away. So yeah, they're all probably gonna be worm food within 30 years. So that sucks, but hey, they got one out in time, so that's good. And then next up, we ended up watching, his name was Jason, on the 28th. This is the 30 Years of Friday the 13th retrospective that came out, funny enough, the same exact day as the remake. So, depending if you want to be an asshole or not, you could say that this was the most recent Friday the 13th film. But yeah, his name was Jason, 30 Years of Friday the 13th. I mean, it's a retrospective documentary. It's pretty fun. They basically recap the films. They recapped the films for the first, 15 minutes, which, honestly, was expecting it to take longer, but they just kind of recapped the films, went over a couple of the deaths in the beginning. Then they talked about, who their characters, who they played. They talked about some behind-the-scenes stuff. They talked about, Tom Savini was there. He's the host. He talked a little bit about the special effects and mentioned why he left after part 1, then came back for part 4, how I created Jason. It's only right that I get to kill Jason, which I thought was pretty cool. That's actually a really, really good line for a film. If say Mrs. Voorhees were trying to stop Jason, I created you, now it's only fair that I end you or whatever. You can make that work. But anyways, enough about shitty Friday the 13th sequel ideas. 30 Years of Friday the 13th. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was a nice retrospective. I definitely get why people who would like the Friday the 13th films would really enjoy this, because you get to see these guys all grown up, and admittedly, very good concept for a sequel came out of this, that you get the survivors of Jason, you bring them all back, and Jason ends up going after them. thought that could have worked. They were all down for it. They all basically pitched the same thing. And I guess they said, fuck you. We want the fuck you, boomers. We want the young generation. When they really should have said, fuck them kids. But, I mean, technically Jason said fuck them kids because he fucking butchered most of them. But yeah. So yeah, his name is Jason. It was okay. That's what I was like. There's something else I want to say, but I forget what. And I'll probably remember it's the second I stop recording. Then on the 29th, and this is where we unfortunately get into two straight films where I cannot talk about them, or I'm choosing not to because they're for the next movie pod. But I'll give very brief thoughts on it. The first one was The Midnight Meat Train, which had potential, is what I'll say. It had potential. Basically the film is about, and I just realized I completely gave up giving the plot for, like, the Sisters, Brothers, and the Irishman. Who cares? We're an hour in. You guys want to watch the movies? Go fucking watch the movies. But yeah, The Midnight Meat Train, this film is about a photographer played by Bradley Cooper who ends up encountering this weird dude played by Vinnie Jones, and ends up discovering that he's a butcher who takes a train every midnight and butchers people. And yeah, the payoff, I'll talk about it on the pod on Sunday, but Jesus Christ, this film had potential and it wasted it. That's what I'll say. I was very disappointed by the film. So yeah, we'll talk about it though. Midnight Meat Train, yeah. And then the second to last film that we watched is a very, very good film. My second time actually watching it, and that is No Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men. Of course, Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin. This film stars Josh Brolin, who's a guy, and that's the plot, you know? No, but it stars Josh Brolin, who's this guy who stumbles across a drug deal gone wrong. He finds $2 million in cash, and he ends up taking it. Javier Bardem ends up coming after him because that's his money. And Tommy Lee Jones is trying to protect Josh Brolin by talking to Josh Brolin's girlfriend or wife, I forget exactly what it is, in order to stop Javier Bardem's character. And very, very fun, very, very solid film. Very fun if you're into acting like I am, especially Javier Bardem. He is fucking terrifying. Tommy Lee Jones is fantastic. Josh Brolin's great in this. It's a Coen Brothers film, so you should know it's going to be great. And yeah, No Country for Old Men. I'll talk about it more on the pod. But great film. Most people, I feel like, should watch that movie. It's fantastic. And the last film that I watched for the month was another one that is not for the pod, but another one, like, at the beginning. Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. You guys might remember Donnie Darko. We actually watched, I think, two films. Yeah, two films that were on the Last Drive-In back-to-back. But the second one was on August 1st. So we're not talking about it this month. But to end, we watched, and this is a crazy way to end, but we started with a horror film, we ended with a horror film, and that film is The Toxic Avenger. Yes, that's right. We ended with the 1984 cult classic by Troma, The Toxic Avenger. He was 98 pounds of solid nerd until he became The Toxic Avenger. This is a hilarious, it's not even really a horror film, honestly. It's very much more so a comedy. But yeah, it's a film where it stars this nerd. This guy who's a nerd. He gets bullied by the popular students, and he ends up falling through a vat of toxic waste, becoming the Toxic Avenger. He can sense evil. He ends up killing a bunch of people. The fucking brutal movie. There's a dog that gets shot, not by the Toxic Avenger, but there's a dog that gets shot. There's a kid whose fucking head gets run over, and you see it. It's a fucking crazy movie. Especially for a Troma film, but you should expect that if you're watching a Troma film. Yeah, Toxic Avenger is just hilarious. It's brutal, it's great, it's offensive, and it's something that most people would say cannot be made today, aside from the fact that they did actually make a remake this year that will not be coming out because apparently that has also been deemed too offensive and too violent. So yeah, I was looking forward to making fun of how bad the Toxic Avenger remake is, and now I won't be able to do that. So, yeah, we ended the month with the original Toxic Avenger. Will we watch the sequels? I don't know, actually. We'll find out in the future, though. But yeah, guys, so Toxic Avenger was the last film we watched in July. Join me back again next month, probably around the same time, around the 5th, 6th of September, for me to recap the movies we've watched in August. We've got, I will say, so far, we've got some horrible films. We've got one of the best films of all time, potentially, on the list so far. We've got a threequel. We've got at least 3 films in a series that has 6. You guys have a month to speculate what those films are in the comments down below. I used to think that I had one of them. I've had 3 of them throughout my existence of being a YouTuber, but all at different points. I actually still have the first one somewhere. I just don't have the case for it. I have to find that eventually. But yeah, so I'll give you guys a chance to guess that in the comments. And also in the comments, let me know your guys' thoughts on any of the films that that I watched this month. If you want to tell me what you guys watched this month, or last month, go for it. Thank you. So yeah, guys, that is going to do it for today's, I was going to say stream, today's video. I'm so used to live streaming recently. That is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share on everything, which includes, but is not limited to, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Rice. Subscribe to join the Puff Club, the Hasty Club, the Sub Hub, the D Nation. And if you remember the Mod Squad, thank you for modding comments, streaming, and reviews. It is much greatly appreciated. Please hit that sub button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Hoping to get there really soon. Hopefully by the end of the year. There's 4 months. We need like 40-something people. We need 10 people a month, basically. I think we can get there. So yeah. Again, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Rice. Again, and I am out. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Adam Mordial. Always remember, no matter how bad we were last year, how fairly good we should be like this year. Go Habs go, baby. Forgot to say that. I haven't been saying that the last couple of videos, and shame on me. Thank you guys again for watching. My name is Chris again, and I am out. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Love you guys. See you guys.